What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and what would be your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below on us permanently extending out federal unemployment benefits. This is your unemployment update and your unemployment extension update for federal benefits. Now, we have some groups advocating for this, saying that PUA, PEUC, FPUC, that $300 per week boost, we should not be doing away with this. We should be adding this on permanently. What they're saying is that we have a dated system that I think was last updated like in the 1930s, they're saying, and we've been using it ever since, and it's time to add this on. PUA for independent contractors, the self-employed, gig workers. They need some form of unemployment. PEUC to extend out how long you can claim, and also we need that additional boost added on top to help people with unemployment benefits as wages and inflation increases over time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but this is being suggested right now, and the current federal unemployment extension is set to expire September 6th, so just right around the corner. They're saying we're going to have an unemployment cliff that's going to be impacting over 7 million people. Now, in addition to that, we're also hearing that this is going to be coming in September, and take a look at the cases right now. As you can see, a steady incline as the Delta variant spreads across the nation with 127,000 new cases just yesterday, and the 7-day average. Take a look at that line. We have now surpassed 100,000 new cases per day on average. So you guys, we're hearing that all this is happening right as unemployment is set to expire. So a lot of people are saying that we need this to go out further. Let me know your thoughts. We're going to see what happens, but as this upward trend happens with the pandemic, we're going to see if we're going to need to set new mandates, new requirements, new precautions, and if we do, it might require more extensions and more stimulus. Now, I've got some articles that I want to dive in with you guys today, as we actually did get a report. Take a look at this. Payroll increases to 943,000 in July as unemployment rate slides down to 5.4%. So the overall unemployment rate in the nation is actually lowering. But we will see if they put in more requirements, if that offsets. Now also, take a look here. Could the pandemic unemployment be extended beyond Labor Day? What experts are saying. So you guys, I'm going to dive into this article, let you know what they're saying as of today, August 6, 2021, regarding unemployment and the possibility of this extending out further. So we're going to dive right in, but before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you like and appreciate these updates, keeping you up to date on everything that's happening with unemployment, stimulus, Congress, the economy, anything having to do with money, don't forget to take a second to just smash that like button. I would appreciate it. Helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. And also, if this is your first time here, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, come join the Ram fam. And I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff so you know what's happening. And if you got any specific questions for me, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. That is by far the best way to get a hold of me if you get any specific questions. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive into this article. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest as to what they're saying as September 6th is quickly approaching. And also, more cases are spreading, and we will see as the unemployment rate, though, is dropping. So as always, you guys, link in the description below to this article that just came out today so you can check it out for yourself. And the article says, payrolls increase 943,000 in July as unemployment rate slides down to 5.4%. And the article says, hiring rose in July at its fastest pace in nearly a year, despite fears over the new Delta variant and as companies struggle with a tight labor supply, the Labor Department reported today, Friday. Now, non-farm payrolls increased by 943,000 for the month, while the unemployment rate also dropped to 5.4%, according to the department's Bureau of Labor Statistics. Now, the payroll increase was the best since August of 2020. Economists surveyed by Dow Jones had been looking for 845,000 new jobs and a headline unemployment rate of 5.7%. However, estimates were diverse amid conflicting headwinds and tailwinds and an uncertain path ahead of the economy. So what they're saying is things actually turned out to be better than they were anticipating. They thought it was going to be 5.7%. It's actually 5.4%, and we added more jobs than they expected. So right now, that means that unemployment, it looks like things are going down and there would be less need for for more benefits. However, there are a lot of people out there, as we mentioned, saying that we need to extend this out permanently and saying that we are seeing cases ramp up as we approach flu season and the winter time, and it might be necessary to get more provisions set in place. Now, let's take a look at this article from NBC's Make It, and it says, could the pandemic unemployment be extended beyond Labor Day? What experts are saying in this article just came out a little while ago today. Now, the article says that lawmakers, economists, and advocates are working to extend a handful of key federal aid programs established at the beginning of the pandemic, many of which were scheduled to end just as the Delta variant has caused the pandemic caseloads to rise across the U.S. yet again. Now, already this week, as you guys know, following the pressures from House Democrats, the CDC has extended the federal eviction moratorium until October 3rd after it lapsed over the weekend. Now, other congressional Democrats are calling on the White House to extend the pause on federal student loan payments scheduled to expire at the end of September, the Washington Post reports. Now, meanwhile, advocacy groups are also dialing up attention to extend pandemic-era unemployment benefit programs that are set to expire on Labor Day, September 6th. So what they're saying is, we've got a lot of these provisions that are coming to an end, and it just turns out that as we approach those deadlines, Congress is coming out and figuring out ways to extend them further, and as we approach this September 6th deadline for federal benefits, we will see, will they get extended out, and could it potentially be permanently? We will see. Now, jumping down to the article, it says, now exactly what advocates feared would happen with the last extension to September 6th is now happening. Jenna Jerry, a senior staff attorney with the National Employment Law Project, tells CNBC's Make It, we knew the pandemic wouldn't be over, and it's not. With the Delta variant rising and places going back and having mask mandates, we're taking steps backward and ending aid when people continue to need and rely on them. The public health crisis could, quote, make people think twice about this cutoff of benefits, says Andrew Stetner, a senior fellow at the Century Foundation. However, people are holding out hope for that extension, but to be honest, there's not a lot of political momentum behind it right now. And as you guys know, we're not hearing a whole lot from people regarding extending this out further. However, as we've seen with other provisions, as we get closer to the deadline and it becomes more of a priority, we will see. Now, what would happen if it does lapse and come to an end? It says, Stetner says that while the focus remains on ending the $300 per week boost, allowing PUA and PEUC programs to end would cause an unemployment cliff for roughly 7.5 million people and their families after September 6th. So what they're saying is, on that deadline, there will be that many people, 7.5 million, still on these programs, and they will all be just instantly cut off from their benefits. Now, as of mid-July, roughly 9.4 million people were drawing benefits from one of these programs, making up more than 72% of Americans collecting unemployment insurance overall. So, about 3/4 of those unemployed are right now collecting federal benefits. Only about 1/4 of them are actually collecting regular state unemployment benefits. Now, by nature, people on PUA don't qualify for any other type of unemployment insurance, so these recipients will not have another safety net to recover lost wages. Now, some longtime unemployed people claiming PEUC could move over to extended benefits, a federally funded aid program that triggers on depending on their state unemployment rate. And as many of you already know, what they're referring to there is extended benefits, or EB, which is a actually state-funded program where when the state's unemployment rate passes a certain percentage, it then triggers on additional extensions for your state benefits. However, when it goes below it, it also triggers it off. And we've already seen a lot of states have these triggered on from the pandemic, and as rates drop, they've already turned off. So this is probably not going to apply for the vast majority of states, but there still are some where they still might have EB, or extended benefits. Now, groups are calling for unemployment insurance reform. Take a look at this. Many worker advocacy groups, including Unemployed Action, Extended PUA, and Unemployment Workers United, have been working with policymakers to improve unemployment benefits throughout the pandemic with the ultimate goal of more long-term system reform, Jerry says. Now, advocates say permanently expanding the pool of workers' eligibility for jobless aid can improve an equitable unemployment insurance system. Americans most likely to be supported by today's temporary PUA and PEUC programs, the long-term unemployed, self-employed, freelancers, gig workers, part-time workers, and caregivers, are also disproportionately Black, Hispanic, Asian, women, and low-income earners. Unemployment insurance is an essential program, Jerry says, but it was created in the 1930s and exclusively left out predominantly BIPOC workers. Over the years, we've made some progress toward reform, but the need for PUA, PEUC, and FPUC boost further demonstrates how much further we need to go. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, as we're seeing there's a lot of groups that are pushing to have this included permanently. Let me know, what do you think about that? Having FPUC, PUA, and PEUC extended indefinitely. Now, it's very likely that we'll be hearing a lot more about this as we approach the deadline of September 6th. But at this current time, like they mentioned, it's not really on lawmakers' radars. Right now, they're focused on the infrastructure plan and the second portion of $3.5 trillion for more stimulus. But we will see what's going to be happening with unemployment, and I think very likely as we approach that deadline, we'll be hearing a lot more about it. And I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date here on the channel, as there's about 7.5 million people that this is going to be impacting. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll be sure to keep you up to date like I mentioned, and if you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button. Just takes a second, really helps me out a ton. Thank you so much. And if this is your first time here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff, so that way you know what's happening. And if you got any specific questions for me, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next one. Remember, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday uploads, and also random uploads throughout the day as news breaks. But with that being said, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.